Hello, hello, hello. So we're gonna be hopping right into it today on this top five doubloon ships to get for 2025. So if you already have these ships, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But let's get started. So the first one is going to be a tier 8 premium that some of you guys may have heard about or maybe witnessed over time. It is going to be the Mainz. The Mainz is a very fun long-range HE throwing machine. Great for farming. Good for operations, randoms. Ranked, it doesn't do as well, but it does really well in randoms. It does really well in operations or any of those PvE modes. It does really well. So definitely would highly recommend. You can get it for 11,300 doubloons. You can use a coupon as well on it to get it cheaper. Every few quarters you're able to do that. So if you want to do that, you can. 11,300 doubloons is about 40 to 50 bucks. So if you want to get yourself a really strong HE throwing farm machine, it does. This ship comes with 12 150 millimeter guns that have a 38 millimeter HE pen, which makes it that the HE does a lot of damage to battleships, cruisers, and destroyers alike. Anything lower than 38 millimeters of armor is you're gonna do a lot of HE damage to it. AP, it's strong at closer range, maybe about like 8 kilometers or so if they're sending broadside. Definitely can be worth using in that regard. It also has torpedoes on each side. It has 8 torpedoes on each side that have a 6 kilometer range. So if you do happen to get really close to an enemy, you can just nuke them with those torpedoes. But again, this is a light cruiser, so you're trying your best not to get that close. A lot of the time, you're going to be sitting at max range, farming with HE, using all of your gun range that's available to be able to maximize your profits in a match and your base XP by just farming and getting kills on battleships or cruisers. It does also come with the 6 kilometer Hydra as well, which is really nice if you're trying to push into a destroyer smoke or a cruiser smoke. You can use that Hydro to detect them first before they detect you. So really useful. The ship does come with fighters, which is more of a CV deterrent, which is nice if you're getting put up into a higher tier and you're being bullied by a higher tier aircraft carrier. Now, if you're not interested in a German cruiser, like a farming cruiser, I would recommend the Bayard instead. So they're both the same price, 11,300 doubloons. Now, this one's more high skill level than the Mainz. The Mainz is easier to play. This has a little bit more, it's a lot more fragile than compared to the Mainz, and that's due to the fact that it has more armor at the mid, which means it's more of like a shell catcher. You're more likely to eat citadels in this ship than you would the Mainz. It does come with a little bit more tools than the Mainz does. It comes with a 5 kilometer Hydro instead of the 6. It does come with an engine boost, which is really useful to doing throttle jukes on enemy shells. And also you have a reload booster, which is really nice to where, imagine you're fighting a battleship, right? You're shooting them from like 15 kilometers away, right? He DCPs, he damage control parties your fire, right? You wait for the damage control party to go off so it ends, and then you use the reload booster to then make sure you get permafires after he damage control party. And what permafire means is that it pretty much means you're going to get a full fire duration on that target. So you're going to rack up a lot of damage and a lot of points by doing that, which means you're going to get a lot of credits and a lot of base XP, which will help you do grind up lines in the game. It'll help you be able to buy new modules or ships, and also help you grind up commander XP as well. Because all premium ships that are tier 9 and below get both the enhanced, the more credit earnings or the enhanced credit earnings, and the cheaper post-service costs. So you get both. You get both of these. Now, if it's a tier 10 premium, you only get the reduced service cost and not the enhanced. So this is really nice for you. It also allows you to assign all premiums allow you to assign to them for free a commander. So let's just say, like, you don't have to retrain them, right? So imagine I want to pick up the Henry. This thing's trained on the Henry, right? You can transfer it over here for free without having to train it for this ship, and it still stays trained for the Henry. So you can swap it back to the Henry for free as well, because the commander is still trained for the Henry. So very cool in that regard. All right, so that's my recommendation as like one of my top fives. It's either the Mainz or the Bayard. That's a really good choice in that regard. Okay, so the next pick I'm gonna have is going to be a WoW's classic. It is going to be the Cossack. Cossack has to be one of the most versatile tier 8 gunboat destroyers in the game. It's a really good credit farmer, good crew trainer, overall very strong ship. You get the signature British short burst smoke generator, you get an engine boost on it, and a 3-kilometer hydro for ships, which is really nice. It also helps you with torpedo spotting as well, if you're using the smoke to be able to farm. A lot of the time you use this smoke to leave engagements. So say you're starting an engagement with another destroyer, use that to be able to go dark and leave. Or you can use it to farm as enemies are pushing into you. You can use it to farm while I'm doing that. The Cossack comes with 8 120 millimeter guns. The pen isn't that great. It's good enough for destroyers of the same tier, including the tier 9 and tier 10s. But if you are dealing with a little bit more heavily armored destroyers like a Kaga, you're going to have to switch over to AP, which will do a lot of damage to its armored area. You do come with 4 torpedoes, which you can single launch, and they have a 10-kilometer range. So imagine you have like a bow in pushing battleship, or say like a cruiser single island bow in. You just single launch those torpedoes at where he's sitting, and you'll do a lot of damage as well. Unfortunately for this ship, anti-air is not going to be that great. So you do have the really good smoke, which will help you in those situations. Concealment's also really good for this destroyer, so it makes it a very stealthy and able to engage a lot of the more stealthy torpedo destroyers at that tier, which is really nice. Maneuverability is also nice as well with a 37.8 knots. The ship it's not the biggest, it's pretty small, so it's really good at evading battleship and cruiser cells. So overall, really good pick. The Cossack cost, let me double check how much it costs. I always like to double check these things. Cossack costs 9,900 doubloons, about 35, like 30 through 40 bucks or so. Pretty good deal for a tier 8 premium, so I like it. Pretty good. All right, so the next ship on my list is going to be one of the oldest premiums in the game that is still relevant to this day. It is going to be the Atago. The Atago has to be the old reliable premium in World of Warships. It's been around since almost the beginning. Been around for a very long time. The armor, it is considered a light cruiser due to its armor. If it's a heavy cruiser, someone can let me know in chat, but as far as I'm aware, this thing's considered actually, no, is it considered a heavy cruiser? I think it's actually considered a heavy cruiser based off the fact that it has 203s. Yeah, it's considered a heavy cruiser due to the 203s on it. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it's a heavy cruiser. You will take a lot of damage from battleships and other heavy cruisers if you're not careful, and of course you can be HE farmed if you're not careful. But it does have a very heavily armored deck in the middle, 41 millimeters, which is pretty nice against HE spam. The ship comes with a damage control party, a hydro or DFA. Of course, I would recommend hydro. You get a fighter, which is nice for a CV deterrent, since there are a lot of CVs at tier 8. You also come with the repair party, which is pretty rare for a tier 8 ship, so it is really nice to be able to get that as well. The ship comes with 12 guns. 3 of the turrets are facing back, and 2 are facing front. So the ship really excels when it's kiting. Like, as you can see the angle here, you can kite here, wiggle back and forth, and always have 3 turrets or 6 guns always firing on a target, which is really nice. The ship, however, does have a very slow reload of 16 seconds. So, and it does have it has a high fire chance as well. So even though it's a longer reload, you still have a good chance to be able to set fires with it. AP is also decent on this ship. I would recommend using the AP maybe within like 10 kilometers or so on enemy cruisers or battleships. The battleships aim for the upper deck, so like up here and not here, because if you aim down here, you're gonna ricochet or non-pin. If you aim up here on a battleship, you'll do a lot of damage with the AP as well. But if you are that close to a battleship, yeah, your days are gonna be numbered, so definitely be careful. You do come with 8 torpedoes per side. You do have to show a lot of side to use them. So normally you can use them, since the ship has amazing concealment, you can use that concealment to your advantage. And as you're kiting away, you can wiggle and use these torpedoes for enemies that are pushing into you. And since these are Japanese torpedoes, they are going to do a lot of damage. The ship does come with aerial depth charges, which are really nice. Anti-air isn't the best, but it is what it is, and it has a nice top speed as well, which is really nice. The Atago, I believe, how much is Atago? Atago is 11,000 doubloons, about 40 to 50 bucks, give or take, around that range. So if you want to get yourself a nice strong tier 8 Japanese premium, this would definitely be a really good one for sure. Good crew trainer, good credit earnings. It's good for randoms, ranked, operations, all the above. It's really good. All right. The next ship I was going to pick originally was going to be the key. But the fact is that you can get the key for coal. It was a recent addition to the coals, because they've been adding a lot of tier 8 premium ships, the ones that were only doubloons for coal now. So they recently added the key for coal. So if you want to get the key, you can just get it for coal instead. But the ship that I'm going to be recommending is going to be the tier 8 Tirpitz. Now, the reason why I'm going to be recommending the Tirpitz is also one of the oldest premiums in the game. You can get for 12,800 doubloons. The ship is the sister ship of the Bismarck. It has torpedoes instead of hydro. You can pick between fighter and spotting plane. Of course, I do fighter because this thing is meant to brawl. The German battleships, Bismarck and Tirpitz, are meant to brawl. They're not meant to be doing long-range sniping. So I would recommend just doing a fighter instead to kind of push away enemy CVs. It does have a lot of armor. For sure, so it's going to be hard for it to take damage. At the same tier, you can be more aggressive, but if you are fighting at tier 9 and tier 10, you're going to have to be a little bit more passive, maybe just spam HE, because those 308mm guns, they aren't going to do that great against the bigger, higher tier battleships, so it's better just to throw HE at them and just start fires. That's what I would personally recommend for it. You can bring the Tirpitz into randoms, ranked operations. It does good in all of those scenarios. A really nice crew trainer if you're trying to train up your captain for either the Poison or the Schlieffen line. Really good trainer overall in that regard. Really fun ship. Very maneuverable, 32 knots. It does have torpedoes as well. 4 torpedoes on each side, which are really nice for those drive-bys, since this thing it's a very big brawler. You can use those torpedoes to do a lot of damage as you're driving by the target. You can use the guns and the torpedoes to make sure that you kill whatever you are broadsiding. All right, so for my final ship recommendation, and I know a lot of people aren't going to be very happy with this, it's going to be if you guys have most of these ships already, or if you're new and you're interested in buying any of these ships, let me know what you guys think in the comment down below. I do appreciate y'all watching these videos. All right, so the final ship I'm recommending is going to be the Kaga. And the main reason why is that it is almost impossible to deplane a Kaga. It has almost 120 planes in reserve, about I think like 112. It's an insane number of planes. It comes with attack fighters with the rockets, torpedo bombers, and the dive bombers. The attack fighters are really good against cruisers, battleships, and for just spotting destroyers. The torpedo bombers are really good against battleships and heavy cruisers, and the dive bombers are really good against destroyers, cruisers, and battleships alike. This thing is an absolute menace at tier 8. Very hard to deplane them. Almost impossible. If you get deplaned in a Kaga, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's legit almost impossible. You can get the ship for 11,300 doubloons, about 40 to 50 bucks, which is a pretty good deal for a ship. I personally think it would be a great choice if you're into playing aircraft carriers. If you're not, then of course not a ship for you, but that's going to be it. Now, a lot of you guys are be wondering, why are all my picks tier 8s, and why am I not suggesting tier 9s or tier 7s or anything like that? Well, a lot of the really good tier 7s, like the Scharnhorst 43, for instance, you can get that for coal. You don't have to buy it, so you can get it for coal. Now, if you're interested in buying the Scharnhorst, you want it now, then now you can buy it for 9,000 doubloons, but you can also get it for coal. Scharnhorst 43 is a monster battleship. I love it. It's so much fun. It's what, if you want a brawler, pure brawling Scharnhorst, that's literally what the ship is. It's just a pure brawler. A lot of fun in that regard. Now, for tier 9s are also a kind of like iffy area for me, because a lot of these ships, a lot of the tier 9s that are good, you can also get for coal. Like, for instance, you can get the Jaeger for coal. Carl's a good ship. Like, if you want to buy that, sure. Kearsarge is also a good one, but you can get that for coal. A lot of the good ships you can just get with coal. You don't have to spend money. Now, if you are interested in spending money on them, you can, but it is a lot of money to throw in the game. But if you are interested in spending that much, then absolutely go for it. But yeah, that is going to be it. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below. But thank y'all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Deuces!